Good evening and welcome to Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories. I am Star Smart. Let's begin. Despite the numerous attempts by La Republic du Cameroon to adulterate and rubbish the Ambazonian tradition by making our foreign auxiliaries to the administration, the tenets of the heritage of the people of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia is still intact. The people of Southern Cameroon do have a strong cultural identity that cannot be dissolved or polluted. Meanwhile, the chairman of one-time strongest opposition party to the BS government, New John Fundi of the SDF party, is back in after a long time. This time around, not as vibrant as before, but weakened by age and poor health. Forced by the ongoing conflict to flee his entire Con residence, and Southern Cameroonians, New John is back again. This time we're asking, is he coming to stay or passing? Well, that we'll get to know subsequently. But for now, prime headlines usher us into the news of tonight.
All right, and these are the prime headlines for today. Today we have the story that says an Ambazonian shot killed in Kumba local government area by terrorist military. Also today, John Fury says war not a solution. What is he bringing to the table? Well, as a DF chairman enjoins all to embrace peace for posterity. Also today, like Sam Sawyer, Colonial La Republic du Cameroon armed thugs kills another Sam in Bamenda local government area. All right. Also, Ford as a third urges all to live together as two for development. And in sports, striker hungry for goals after missing out on World Cup. Now let's get the news in detail.
This genocidal war declared on us by the 90-year-old dictator Paul Biya on the 30th of November 2017 is raging, and our people are going through this horror in pain and in plain sight while the world watches on. This is our reality daily.
My people, the wind of total liberation is sweeping through Amazonia, our priceless inheritance. Let's get it straight. The freedom of Amazonia will not depend on the free will of our enemies.
The most important thing we pray today is courage to challenge our fears and correct this error and ensure truth and justice prevails.
with one voice, my fellow Ambazonians, we must remind the entire world that they cannot continue to shun their responsibilities to history.
Victory is near, but more sacrifice is needed. Let us not relent in our pursuit of freedom. The dream I have for Ambazonia, God willing, the Ambazonian flag shall fly the skies of Buea and be hosted at Abemukon Square. The Ambazonian dollar shall be soon used to buy gari and water fufu in Awing or Ekombe. The Ambazonian army shall march on the streets of Kumba and Kumbo with pride and respect. The Ambazonian anthem shall be played in stadia across Limbe and Bamenda.
The President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako, addresses the nation. Stay tuned.
The media greatly influences society. They inform people about what is happening. It permeates people's lives by creating their own criteria and opinions. In this way, the media moves the masses, creating different social movements.
For over 60 years, the people of Ambazonia were deprived of such privileges. The privilege to enhance their own criteria and opinion. They have suffered cultural genocide for 6 long decades, but not in this age. Undaunted ABC Amba News on board.
You must understand that wars are fought and won in the media. The speed of the revolution, Ambazonia's quest for freedom cannot be explained without highlighting the diligent use of the media.
Franco-Cameroon colonizers, among other strategic moves, weaponized the names Ambazonia for so long, and they continue to do so even today. The question would be, how much do the oppressed people of Ambazonia need to counter the media rage?
Indeed, how much more is required to stop the genocide? The carnage in Ambazonia didn't start today. In 1961, 1972, 1984, 1992, Ambazonians were slaughtered in huge numbers and help was not forthcoming. Why? Because the oppressor was the piper in the media.
The good news is we have what it takes to dictate the pace.
Right now, ABC Amba TV is taking advantage of the wonders of multimedia aggressively
to inform the misinformed and disinformed with Undaunted and other revolutionary programs bringing it to the news untold stories.
Most importantly, to win the media war by taking ABC Amba TV into every multimedia platform.
In a word, where the importance of storytelling can never be overemphasized, Ambazonians has to tell her own story, not the other way round.
And like we say it always, Ambazonia must narrate her story accurately. We can do this together, you know, right? You are just a click away. Visit our website at www.abcambatv.com, and the steps are quite simple.
With just a click on the website, you can become a club member with so many benefits.
You can also make a one-time donation, advertise and showcase your goods and services at the marketplace on the website.
That was easy, right? You're welcome on board.
And thank you for opting for the winning team.
The extortion currently going on in southern Cameroon's Ambazonia is gradually becoming alarming. The La Republic du Cameroon colonial forces are not willing to let a dime pass them, even ready to waste lives just to fulfill their pockets. Now, they do this by mounting roadblocks in the name of checkpoints, where all road users have to pay their way to cross a gunpoint. In one of such money-sucking points, an Ambazonia has been shot to death for refusing to comply. What have the people of southern Cameroon done to deserve these excruciating, inhuman treatments from the Paul Biya-led colonial administration? Hello, Ambazonians. This is where we will begin the full briefings of Undaunted tonight, compliments of the season, and of course, good evening, Star.
Good
How
evening,
are you doing?
Very well, and good evening, fellow Ambazonians. Compliments of the season. An Ambazonian has been shot point blank in his car in Kumba by the Colonial La Republic du Cameroon military thugs, and the incident took place Friday, December 23rd, 2022, for no just reason. The Colonial La Republic du Cameroon military officers outran him with their truck, forcing him to stop driving and ran bullets on him before taking off. From a video of the incident, this innocent Southern Cameroonian has failed to hold. He had failed to hold at one of the numerous extortion La Republic du Cameroon colonial forces checkpoints. These thugs then mounted their truck, followed him just to waste his life. An act that they are very comfortable with.
Now, meeting up with him, the colonial terrorists crossed their truck in front of his car and ran bullets on him before taking off. Helpless onlookers could only gather around the lifeless body of this victim of Colonial La Republic du Cameroon soldier killing expedition to Ambazonians to mourn and ask questions no one can answer. There is one charismatic chairman of the SDF party who has disappointed the entire Amazonians by mortgaging a party initially created of what was at the time referred to as the Anglophone problem, selling the party to the Francophones as he wines and dines with them, abandoning the suffering of his people, says, "We cannot fix the problem."
Well, Undaunted has gathered that he said this during a brief come together with the media at his Intaricon residence in Bamenda local government area on Wednesday, December 28, 2022. This former charismatic leader, who is now a shadow of himself because of greed and his inordinate desire for wealth, indicated that though he won the presidential elections in the 1992, he gave a deaf ear to warmongers who wanted him to plunge the country into a war. Quote, when I won the elections, they said I could go to war to seize my victory. I said I prefer to let go the victory than go to war and get my children killed. Adding that war is a good thing. I have seen what war has done to many countries, and supporting the idea of war in the Northwest and Southwest regions will be the last thing I will ever do, he said.
Like every other CPDM militant now, enablers, sellouts, and blacklegs, Fundi added his voice to those calling for Amazonian freedom fighters to drop their weapons and give peace a chance and remain in perpetual slavery under the yoke of La Republic du Cameroon. Undaunted took the liberty to ask who declared this war that has claimed over 40,000 lives, including women and children, the aged and the pregnant, burnt over 500 villages and homes, incapacitated many, sent hundreds of thousands into hiding, over 1.5 million as refugees. Fundi should ask his brother in crime, Paul Biya, who declared the war to stop it because Amazonian blood also counts and Amazonians have a right to self-defense.
Now, moving on with the next Report of today, Fuchi Albert Sam, a native of Boyo County, like Sam Sawyer, has been shot dead in his delivery van at their checkpoint situated in the neighborhood of Travelers in Bamenda local government area. The gruesome murder happened last Saturday, December 24th, 2022. This is what Undaunted has gathered. And we also learned that while driving towards the Travelers neighborhood in Bamenda local government area, one of the boiling areas in the current war raging Ambazonian Saturday evening, he was stopped by colonial La Republique du Cameroon thugs armed to the teeth who discharged bullets on him, leaving him unresponsive at the mercy of wailing loved ones.
Well, he said, we will take care of the children who will be there for them when no one is there. Who will they call Papa again? Anyone with a hand in this will never know peace, cried an old woman as Fuchi's lifeless body. Undaunted equally gathered that Sam was a man who had promised loved ones that he was coming back later that same evening. Fuchi Albert Sam is never going to make it again. He was forced out of this world unceremoniously and under unclear circumstances. Lives have continued to be destroyed, families torn apart, as lethal or nothing is being done to stop this senseless war.
Now, yesterday it was Sam Sawyer, who was equally a breadwinner to Ambazonians. Today it is Fuchi Albert Serm, who would be next? Well, we wonder. It could just be anyone if La Republique du Cameroon continues being recalcitrant to get in for meaningful mediated talks to end the war that has claimed already over 40,000 lives and counting.
We the people, ABC Amba TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best. We the people, ABC Amba TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
All right, the people of Southern Cameroon do have a strong cultural identity that cannot be dissolved or polluted, despite the numerous attempts by La Republique du Cameroon to adulterate and rubbish the Ambazonian tradition by making our funds auxiliaries to the administration. The tenets of the heritage of the people of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia is still intact.
Undaunted reported a week ago about the traditional official mourning ceremony of the fallen king of Makan for Ngwafo III, where culture was showcased. This time around is the Nkwame Fonds Palace hosting the Festival of Heritage, Arts and Culture 2022. While His Majesty Fon Azei III of Nkwame has called on sons and daughters of his kingdom to embrace peace and living together as a tool for development. The Fon of Nkwame was speaking during the officially opened of the edition of the Festival of Heritage, Arts and Culture for the Bamenda 3rd Subdivision on Wednesday, December 28, 2022.
Now, His Majesty Azefo III noted that the festival finds meaning in the culture of the people and brings out a sense of belonging. Peace, His Majesty highlighted, is crucial for the socio-economic development of the subdivision and should be preserved jealously at all times. Quote, he says, peace is the greatest weapon for development that every other person should have. We must become violence and embrace the true values of peace. Shun tribalism, nepotism, corruption as we open our doors to a cosmopolitan. Ngwafo III told the crowd that came to celebrate.
Well, he told parents that if the house is in order, then society is in order as well. He says teach kids to respect, work hard, and have an exemplary attitude in all they do. The king called on sons and daughters of the subdivision to work hard wherever they are to ensure that they emerge on top in whatever they do. He cautioned those still in school to pick up technical and vocational education. This is as a rock of employment after leaving school, for there is no jobless technician anywhere on earth.
Well, on developing the subdivision, the colonial Republic to Cameroon's government to fast track the Bamenda Referral Hospital that is still begging for completion. He says it will not only improve quality health care but serves as the university teaching hospital, hence bringing many more health practitioners into the local government area. And why not the Faculty of Health Sciences of the University of Bamenda? The traditional ruler also called on the powers that be to improve the road infrastructure in and around the palace to increase accessibility and trade.
Well, His Majesty Fon Azefor III hopes that the over 100 exhibitors and 17 phones who answered presents plus the administration message of peace, unity, development, and prosperity to the rest of the region. For without peace, no meaningful development can be realized. He has called on all sundry, born or living in Queen, to adopt Republican values that can help push the fundum forward.
Ni John Fundi. All right, now still speaking of Ni John Fundi, the chairman of one-time strongest opposition to the BS government of the SDF party, is back in Bamenda after a long time. This time around, not as vibrant as before, but weakened by age and poor health, forced by the ongoing conflicts to flee his entire residence in southern Cameroon's Niger is back again.
With the people, ABC Amba TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
Now, the national chairman of the Social Democratic Front, SDF, John Frundi, has called on those sponsoring terrorism in the southern Cameroon to disease. While the chairman was speaking at his Intarankum residence on Wednesday, December 28, 2022, as he addressed, he noted that it is in aberration from Amba boys to transform themselves into what he called village chiefs, collect food, drinks, and money from families before accepting that corpses be buried. Frundi cautions that to know of karma and that the wrath of the people is the wrath of God.
Now, Chairman Frundi said the Amba Boys are fighting on three fronts: the La République du Cameroon's government, the population, and themselves. This has brought untold suffering to the local population and the economy of the region. Quote, I cannot support this issue of war in my own country. I'm joining my voice to others to say they should come out of the bushes and let's build a better nation. Quote, I have traveled to other war-torn areas. I cannot wish this to my own country. I did not fight to bring democracy for us to start killing each other. This was said by John Frundi.
Well, he goes on to say the life of the SDF. He says John Frundi reiterated that he will retire as party chair in 2023. On who succeeds him, Frundi says he wants a young, dynamic person to lead the party as his health is beginning to fail him. He says his doctors have said he's okay, but he needs sufficient rest, not carry on with the tedious activities of the party anymore. Frundi says he cannot take 2 weeks to tour Cameroon like he did in 1992 or trek from Benekuma to Fruawa in 3 days. On who succeeds him, Frundi says party members have been fighting among them, which is Jean-Michel Ninchu.
On Ninchu, Frundi says he was sent to reorganize the party in the north, but he was rather spotted on a private visit to Europe with Joseph Weber. The national chairman also told the press that Ninchu gave an illegal 8.2 to Joshua O.C. in a meeting whose quorum was not formed. He jokingly asked Honorable Ninchu to read and master the text of the SDF. He was also quizzed on the situation of party bigwigs who have asked him to resign. Frundi says he cannot waste time on people who cannot win an election in their constituencies. Quote, that someone is a senator for 5 years and cannot win or even shares his council of origin, and you ask me to listen to such a person?
Well, Fru asked those calling on him to resign to go and be popular in their constituencies that will bring more meaning to the party. He has asked everyone to forge ahead in a peaceful environment. He described 2023 like a canoe where to move ahead, you need to push the water backwards. Frundi says it is time to think and build and reach without challenges or difficulties.
But my worry that the fighting force that we have been fighting with us here in the issues. And today, I will call on them back as a father that they've expressed their inner feelings. They should now come back to never see what we do. You are all living witnesses to the fact that when they want to recruit either people in the army, in the gendarmerie, in the police, in whatever structure of the government, none of the services have almost nothing. Meanwhile, the strong boys who have been recruited are there fighting in the bushes, hijacking people, collecting tools, things of that nature. Al-Qaeda now is a fixed program. They keep the food of the Ambas. They don't respect. Keep their drinks. And so they take the place of the chief of the village, which is not acceptable. When their own parent will die, will the village hold them to also bring the food, the money, and this and that they expect before they bury them? Or look, everything has a return. If water comes and hits on a house across there and cannot go further, and now water still comes, some water still keep coming, the water will come back. As a rancher, when you drive animals They run and they're fighting to trying to see how they can break the wall to go out. If they cannot break the wall to go out, they'll turn back. And when they turn, please stay off because when they knock you down, they'll just shatter you to pieces. They are running with their heads up, they are not looking down to see where they're putting them. So I think that it's time for us to review and be honest to ourselves. What we've done so far, is it good? I was surprised the other day, was taken aback by somebody who called himself a certain punch and another person in the United States, saying that, oh, they have apologized, everything is finished now, they are calling on the boys to come back. They were the leaders and it was talking very heavenly, shaking, vibrating. So I asked myself in a cold tone, apologizing now at what cost? Did you lose anybody, person of your family? Other people are pleading that this boy should leave the bushes and come back home for us to be like. Yes, Chairman, yes, the SDF is ready. Ready in the sense that I had to send people to the field to get the party structures reorganized for us to have young people, boys and girls come in. And they are coming in their numbers, and that's why some of you have recently noticed that some top cats of the party are very and were blasting the hell out of me. Because to them, they thought that we should just leave the party the way it is and go in for a convention. I said, no, we have to get the party reorganized to get more people in. So many people have died, so many people have resigned from their positions, and I cannot give those positions if I take a few people into the convention. Party reorganized, let more people come in, younger and elderly people too, people with wisdom come in to lead the party. More so because in the last convention here, I made it abundantly clear that the nation I would love to retire because now when I meet, especially the girls, they say, Chairman, you look so nice, you look fresh. I might look nice and fresh, but I'm tired. And as such, I would love to sit back home. I can give advice, I can give directions, I can play with my grandchildren, I can do other things but sitting in one spot. For us to accept that I'll be chairman and still move the way I used to move when they will announce the presidential election. That the presidential elections are in 2 weeks. I leave here, go and start the campaign from Kuseri, coming down. And in 2 weeks, I touch nearly regions in the areas in all the regions of the country before I come to end in Bahrain. That was my joy, and I believe in politics of meeting the people, getting in touch with the people, talking to the people, sensitizing the people, and
And this is a breaking news. The powerful Bui warriors striked at the heart of the Colonial Brigade headquarters in Kumba local government, the newly installed General Buba alongside 4 other terrorist elements. Today, Thursday, December 28, 2022, the powerful Bui warriors under the leadership of Major General Tok and Du launched a powerful attack on La Republic Security Station at their Colonial Brigade headquarters in government.
The warriors planned and started their attack at 8 a.m. Amba time when the terrorists were relaxing. An attack that lasted for about 5 hours, causing the entire population of Vabe Market to evacuate and seek for shelter as heavy gunshots rocket launchers and grenades became the new sheriffs in town. Most of the terrorists got into direct fire as they left from their colonial company in Tobin and were heading to provide backup to those at the Colonial Brigade Square, which was under attack from the Bui warriors.
General Buba, who had been sent to Bui, was neutralized during the attack alongside 4 other La Republic du Cameroon terrorists, while many sustained life-threatening gunshot wounds from the hours-long gun battle. A helicopter was immediately dispatched from Bamenda for a rescue mission to ferry their big man with other critically wounded for burial and treatment.
Now, the Bui warriors all returned back to their base safe and sound with jubilation. Successful mission. These brave warriors continue to display great professionalism in their operations. We are calling on all Amazonians to keep on assisting the great warriors in the land of no return to continue doing the necessary in freeing homeland. Kwatsi Bui Security Team.
We the people, ABC Amba TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
And in sports, Ireland is using the frustration of being forced to watch the World Cup on TV as motivation to score even more goals in the Premier League this season. Haaland took his tally to 20 in 14 games with a double against Leeds at Elland Road for Manchester City.
Now, in cricket, Australia trashed South Africa by an inning and 182 run in the second test to win the series with a game to spare. Resuming on 15-1, South Africa were bowled out for 204 before tea on the 4th day at the Melbourne ground. As always, has more.
Latest world sports. Football. Erling Haaland, striker hungry for goals after missing out on World Cup. Erling Haaland is using the frustration of being forced to watch the World Cup on TV as motivation to score even more goals in the Premier League this season. Haaland took his tally to 20 in 14 games with a double against Leeds at Elland Road for Manchester City. It is the fastest anyone has reached the total, 7 games earlier than the next quickest, Sunderland's Kevin Phillips in 1999-2000, and would have been enough to secure a share of the Golden Boot in 5 Premier League campaigns. Worryingly for City's top-flight rivals, manager Pep Guardiola says Haaland not at his best. I've been at home, being a bit mad that I'm not playing at the World Cup. Haaland told Amazon Prime, to watch other people score to win games in the World Cup kind of triggers me, kind of motivates me and irritates me. I'm more hungry and I'm more ready than ever. Haaland was a boyhood Leeds fan, thanks to his dad, Alfie, who played for both Leeds and Manchester City, and watched his son's latest scoring masterclass from the Elland Road stands. I'm happy. It's a really special moment in my career, said the Norway striker, playing in his birth against the supports. In my craziest fantasy, I couldn't think of being at Elland Road and scoring for Manchester City against Leeds. Match day 18. Match day 18 of the English Premier League begins on Friday with 2 games scheduled to take place. West Ham United will be playing host to Brentford at the London Stadium in the London Derby, while Liverpool will battle things out with Leicester City field. La Liga. Day 15 matches of the Spanish La Liga continues on Friday with the following games scheduled to take place. The first game of the day will see Getafe playing host to Mallorca. Celta Vigo will battle things out with relegation Villa in the second game of the day. Cadiz will exchange lessons with Almeria, while Valladolid will lock horns with defending champions Real Madrid last game day. Cricket. Australia beat South Africa by innings 182 runs in Melbourne to seal Test series. Australia trashed South Africa by innings and 182 runs in the second Test to win the series with a game to spare. Resuming on 15-1, South Africa were bowled out of 204 before tea on the fourth day at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Off-spinner Nathan Lyon claimed 358, including Temba Bavuma for 65, while Kyle Zondo and Keshav Maharaj were needless to run out. The final test in Sydney starts on 3rd January. Australia, who won the first test inside 2 days, extended their lead over India at the top of the World Test Championship table. South Africa, who began the series in second, are now fourth. Captain Pat Cummins described his side, who have won 7 of their 10 tests in 2022, as probably the best test team I've played in. In terms of captaining, I don't feel like I have to do much at all, he said. Everyone looks after themselves. You just kind of make sure the buses are on time, which the team manager does. It's just in a really sweet spot at the moment. We can just sit back and appreciate the place that we are in because it's really special. We're having a hell of a lot as well, doing it together with some of our best mates. South African Elgar said, that was a bit of a hammering. It is not easy at the moment. We're playing for the badge. We're playing for the pride of our team. I'm sure there's a lot of guys hurting. Australia's victory at the MCG was all but certain after they posted a mammoth 575-8 declared, featuring 200 from David Warner and Alex Carey's 111 in reply to South Africa's 189. Although the Tories avoided an aggressive total of less than 200, they never looked likely to take the game into a fee. Bavuma was the only batter to make more than 33 as Scott Butland claimed 249 on his home ground, and with Elgar on the third evening conceded only 20 runs from 16 overviewed 2 decisions that were overturned by the TV umpire. Part-time leg spinner Steve Smith sealed victory in the Shane Warne test by bowling Longi Ngidi. Pace bowler Mitchell Starc, who bowled 18 overs in the 18 innings despite dislocating a finger on the opening day, will miss the tour test. All-rounder Cameron Green, who took 527 in the first innings and broke a finger during his unbeaten 51, has also been ruled out. Gab Ellison reporting from Undaunted, ABC Amba News.
And with that sports report, we've come to the end of Undaunted tonight. But before we go, a recap of the major stories.
Now, an Ambazonian shot killed in Kumba by La Republic du Cameroon terrorist military, Ni John Frundi, says war is not a solution. And the SDF chairman enjoins all to embrace peace for posterity.
Like Sam Sawyer, Colonial La Republic du Cameroon armed talks kills another Sam in Bamenda local government area. And also today we told you that Fon Azay III urges all to live together as two for development. And in sports we told you that striker hungry for goals after missing out on World Cup. Tonight's Undaunted, bringing to the news on top stories. On behalf of my co-anchor here, Star Spot, and the entire Undaunted crew, we say thank you for tuning in.
We'll leave you with ABC Amba TV images. Good night and God bless you.
This genocidal war declared on us by the 90-year-old dictator Paul Biya on the 30th of November 2017 is raging, and our people are going through this horror in pain, and in plain sight while the world watches on. This is our reality daily.
My people, the wind of total liberation is sweeping through Amazonia, our priceless inheritance. Let's get it straight. The freedom of Amazonia will not depend on the free will of our enemies.
The most important thing we must celebrate is our courage to challenge our fears, correct this error, and ensure truth and justice prevail.
With one voice, my fellow Ambazonians, we must remind the entire world that they cannot condition their responsibilities to history.
Victory is near, but more sacrifice is needed. Let us not relent in our pursuit of freedom. The dream I have for Ambazonia, God willing, the Ambazonian flag shall fly the skies of Buea and be hosted at Abemukon Square. The Ambazonian dollar shall be soon used Gari and Watafufu in Awing or Ekombe. The Ambazonian army shall march of Kumba and Kumbo with pride and respect. The Ambazonian anthem shall be played in stadia across Limbe and Bamenda.
The President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako, addresses the nation. Stay tuned.